We're going to bring it back to Brendan Buckley, who had his wrestling program when he was wrestling at Clemson cut from under him. He found a new home at Fresno State. He's continued to give back to the sport of wrestling, where he's currently the executive director of Beat the Streets in New York City. Was also an All-American at 142 pounds in 1997 for Coach Dennis Toledo. And Brendan's going to take us home and tell us how you can help keep Fresno State wrestling. Coach Buckley.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, first, just want to thank everybody on the call. We have some of the biggest names in wrestling here. It really means a lot to, as a few people have talked about the strength of our community and how, even though we're fierce competitors, we all come together with a common cause, and we're all cut from the same stone. So that really means a lot. And I think this is, in this environment we've been experiencing since March, our entire world has been turned upside down, and it's really scary to think about the future of our sport if we don't band together as a wrestling community and we don't fight for the future of our sport. And the Central Valley is so important to, it's a part of the cultural identity. The sport of wrestling is part of the cultural identity of the Central Valley. It's more than accolades. It's more than getting a scholarship. It's certainly about getting a college education, but it's really about, for young boys and now young girls, to cling to something that can really propel them to achieve things that they may not otherwise do without the sport of wrestling. And when you have a community right in your backyard that has been feeding itself for generations, and the university, they have an obligation to support those student athletes, to support the community, to support the legacies. And so we are calling for everybody to support our efforts, what we're doing. We've got a big hairy goal, and that's to keep the program. And we want that future legacy to have opportunities just like we did. I grew up on the East Coast. I knew very little about Fresno State at that time. And my life I've just received so many blessings as a result of going to the NCAA tournament as a sophomore that year. When I was at Clemson, they dropped, and I watched Jerry Abbas, and I saw the team performing and doing incredibly well. And I was like, wow, they got a great wrestling program out there. I'd like to learn more. And so having an opportunity, meeting Coach Toledo, giving me that opportunity, meeting one of my best friends, Yaru Washington, on the call here, and people like Sam Lopez and all the teammates that I had. We really need your support. Whether you were a starter, whether you wrestled just for a year, if your son is a high school wrestler, or your neighbor wrestled at Fresno State, we just really need people to come together and to help the effort. And what we're trying to do right now is to demonstrate to Fresno State's athletic administration, put our best foot forward, and let them know that there's a commitment here to collaborate and to achieve a goal in keeping the program. We want them to meet us halfway, but we need to demonstrate our best effort. So we've already started on our wrestling website, Keep Fresno State Wrestling.com. There's a site for pledges where we're trying to raise a sum of money to demonstrate that commitment, but we also are trying to have the funding that we need to support these efforts, to work with strategists who can help us achieve this goal, to do things like this, and to get out in the media and to share the narrative, the narrative that 70% on the Fresno State wrestling team are people of color, that a significant 60+%, I believe, are first generation college students. The people in the Valley, want to go to Fresno State. They want to be a Bulldog. Coach Steiner has had an incredible success in recruiting people from his own Valley. For the last 10 years, it's been Buchanan High School or Clovis High School that has won the state title, I believe. That's incredible. Like, why would we simply can't let that legacy pass us by. And so I know I'm committed to it. I experienced that painful experience of having the wrestling program dropped. things worked out for me and I feel so blessed and fortunate. It didn't work out that way for a lot of people, a lot of my teammates from Clemson. And it's not working out that way for a lot of the people on the Fresno State team right now. They want to stay, or they can't afford to go out of state, or maybe they haven't had an opportunity to prove themselves yet, like some of the other student athletes who have opportunities to transfer. And so we just got to give all that we can. It's a tough environment right now. There's lots of distractions. But I think if we really tap into the identity of who we are as former wrestlers and the impact that it's had on us, I know that motivates me, and I hope that will motivate everybody else. So go to the website, Keep Fresno State Wrestling.com. Check out our social media pages, make a pledge, make a donation, spread the word. If you know people who are of key influence that would help us get the administration to come to the table, to see things through our eyes, and to do the right thing, we would really appreciate it. And we're all ears. We're here. Our contact information is on the website as well.